I have the pleasure of getting to announce our keynote speaker to introduce her. Um, this is the director of the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency. This is Jen Easterly. I'm sure everyone knows about her. She probably needs very limited introduction, but Jen is a West Point graduate. So, you know, in the long term, we're rivals, but we're going to be friends today. She is a fantastic ambassador in the cybersecurity space and leading in the highest positions in our government. So, you know, she's a proud mom, she's a mental health advocate, and she's a puzzle enthusiast like myself. So before joining CISA, Jen led the firm-wide resilience effort at Morgan Stanley. And after a lengthy public service career that ended in her serving at the White House twice, helping to stand up the Army's first cyber battalion, and more than 20 years of service in intelligence and cyber operations, including tours of duty in Haiti, the Balkans, Iraq, and Afghanistan. So I would love it if we could all give Jen Easterly a nice warm welcome today. Thank you.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much, Dr. Brown. It's so great to be here with everybody. So thanks for the kind introduction. It was great to hear your views from having just returned from Greece. So exciting to imagine what the future holds for all of the athletes, given the clear level that I've just heard over the past 10 minutes of passion and creativity and innovative thinking. And we know that that's really critical to be successful in these games. You mentioned I'm a big puzzler, and I bet that everybody who's been involved with this competition in any way is probably a fan of puzzles and problem solving. And I'm just excited about the talent pool. It's one of those that I think is critical, not only to what we're looking to build CISA as America's cyber defense agency, but really truly across our nation's cyber ecosystem. So before I talk a little bit about CISA, I am super proud to mention, and I think Noor mentioned us at the top, but we of course serve as a founding sponsor of the first U.S. Cyber Games held last year. And one of our very own, Michael Harpin, serves on the U.S. Cyber Teams Advisory Board. So I want to thank Michael for representing Team CISA. You know, I think as we all appreciate, the competition is a really big deal. I think for at least two reasons. First of all, because it attracts such a diverse and talented group of athletes who give us a glimpse into how powerful and capable the future cybersecurity workforce will be. And second, you know, it's a terrific opportunity for us to try to draft everybody onto Team CISA. So there's a reason why I accepted the keynote here, and you're probably guessing. But so if you're not already familiar with CISA, we were established in 2018 to lead the national effort to understand, manage, and reduce risk to the cyber and physical infrastructure that Americans rely on every hour of every day to get gas at the pump and money from the ATM and food at the grocery store and our power and our water and our transportation and our communication. So these are really the functions of our government and the private sector that are so vital to the U.S. that any disruption to them could threaten our national security and our economic security and our public health and safety. So being on Team CISA really means working every day to protect and secure the assets that we all rely on for our livelihood and our quality of life. And in many ways, we are unique among federal agencies. And that's one of the reasons I was so excited to come back from Morgan Stanley to help build out CISA as America's cyber defense agency, because we were created really by design and specifically to be this collaborative network of public and private sector partners that work together to strengthen our nation's defense against threats and to secure resilient critical infrastructure for the American people. And, you know, by the way, all of these partnerships offer people at CISA some really amazing opportunities to connect and network with organizations from all over the country and clearly all over the globe. So, and I think the really cool thing is, together with all of our partners, we get to take on some of the biggest challenges facing both government and industry. And everybody knows, you know, you don't join government to make a bunch of money, right? But you do join because in many senses, it's a calling. It's a calling to help defend the nation, but it's also, we offer some incredibly cool and tough technical challenges to work on. So I'm hoping that we'll have some great recruits coming out of this whole process. But, from working to secure large federal networks and national critical assets, it really is all about partnership to benefit everybody in the US. So as I said, we're public servants and we're looking for others who are seeking to make our country better and safer and more resilient for everyone. As the CISA director, I'm accountable for our operational mission, but that really includes enhancing CISA's capabilities through investments in the right technologies and by strengthening our collaborative partnerships that we really need to defend the nation. And so I'm super glad that we've been working hand in hand with Cat's Eye and NIST and NICE to test the best of the best in our cyber games. And I also want to, of course, thank Jessica Gulick specifically for everything that she's been doing for US Cyber Games. It's really due to her visionary leadership as the CEO and founder. It's incredibly impressive and inspiring to all of us who share in the mission of building tomorrow's cybersecurity workforce. And since that is a top priority of mine at CISA, we really appreciate the opportunity to join you all today. So I think, as everybody knows, this is the second US Cyber Games. It's incredibly exciting to see so many cyber athletes competing this year. I'm excited to see everybody tackle some of our most challenging puzzles through things like cryptography and forensics and reverse engineering and binary exploitation and networking and web and reconnaissance. And while each athlete really brings to the competition their own unique skills and techniques and creativity, those selected to participate on the US Cyber Team really share a couple of what I think are super important qualities. So first, passionate about cybersecurity, always looking for ways to advance their knowledge base and increase their skill set. Two, they're relentlessly curious. They're explorers of cyberspace frontiers, experimenting with emerging technologies to detect and respond to new threats and vulnerabilities. And finally, they're leaders and bold thinkers working together as a team. And that, I think, is hugely important as well, the collaborative aspect of teamwork to help us manage risk and strengthen resilience through creativity and imagination. And in the cyber games, these are really the traits that we need to capture that flag. And they're the same traits that we need to change the world and to keep it safe. And so 2 weeks ago, I think, as we all know, the first US Cyber Team competed in the ENISA International Cybersecurity Competition, the ICC, in Athens, Greece. I was not on that trip, but I'm going to try and get on the big trip next year because it sounded pretty fabulous from what Dane was saying. The ICC is a wonderful opportunity for US athletes to experience international collaboration and networking and really also sharing our own values and experiences and learning about the values of the international teams and of our athletes, of the competing athletes. And for all of the trailblazing athletes competing on the first team representing the US, I know was no easy feat. There were 6 other highly skilled teams from across the world: Asia, Europe, Oceania, Canada, Latin America, Africa, and collectively, those teams brought 90 competing athletes from 65 countries. So that is pretty awesome. And as a founding sponsor of the first team, I really just want to personally congratulate everybody for doing a fantastic job at the ICC. And I want to extend our heartfelt thanks for how well they represented the US, both as athletes and as shining examples of the nation's great and traditional spirit of competition. As we know, the US team took bronze this year. We're super proud of you all for a job well done, and we can't wait to host in the US next year, and of course, to take the gold. I also want to recognize some of the amazing coaches of the US Cyber Team for their time and mentorship and training. We heard from Dr. Dane Brown, of course, from that school in Annapolis that has that other team in football. We've got Dr. TJ O'Connor, an old friend of mine from Army Cyber Days, Jasmine Jackson, Susanna Schmielk, Bryson Payne. Congratulations to all of you for your great success in coaching the first US Cyber Team. That coaching role is so incredibly important. You know, at CISA, we couldn't agree more with the importance of the power of play to build skills and creativity and so on. And so we launched our own competition about 4 years ago. It's called the President's Cup Cybersecurity Competition. And we created it effectively to identify the best cybersecurity talent within the federal workforce and then to give them an opportunity to really showcase their talent. So registration for the President's Cup is actually coming up on August 8th. So if you're a federal government employee, please consider competing during your off season. The skills and the expertise and the teamwork we see at the President's Cup are incredibly impressive and inspiring. And I have no doubt that the best of the best will be competing at this year's Cyber Games, inspiring all of us to up our cyber game. You know, most of us are familiar with the national security threat posed by the sheer amount of vacant cybersecurity positions. And in the federal government, we're facing those same challenges as the private sector. About 600,000 cybersecurity vacancies in the US, 35,000 of those are in the government. It's not just a problem here in the US. We have these same issues around the globe. And that's why collectively we've been really focused on building and retaining a skilled and sustainable cyber workforce. It really requires partnerships and diligence and a joint commitment from everybody to help us work together and build the collective defenses we need. And so, you know, that's why at CISA we're collaborating with our other federal partners, with academia, with industry on workforce development initiatives aimed at expanding both current and the future pool of cybersecurity talent. We're partnering with our teammates at NSA on the National Centers for Academic Excellence in Cybersecurity, the National Science Foundation, the Office of Personnel Management, on the Cyber Corps Scholarship for Service program, which I am a huge fan of, you know, as well as great organizations like Girl Scouts and Girls Who Code. We also developed a unique 12-month reskilling program to retrain non-cyber federal professionals for entry-level opportunities. And we are very, very focused on investing in recruiting a more diverse cyber workforce. But to me, that is a particular area of focus because I firmly believe that all types of diversity, neurodiversity, diversity of gender identity, of sexual orientation, of race, of national origin, of experience, of age, all that translates into a diversity of thought that really helps us solve our big challenges better, faster, stronger. So we are working on many fronts to build a more diverse workforce, and I'm very excited about that. I also want to just highlight a new program that we just rolled out at RSA. It's called our Cyber Innovation Fellows. It's a first of its kind program where we're going to welcome private sector experts to enhance their own skills and knowledge, joining part of our cyber team, whether that's threat hunting or vulnerability management or our awesome new Joint Cyber Defense Collaborative, the JCDC. So we'll bring in our private sector teammates on short-term, part-time basis, and they'll be able to share with us their wisdom and their perspectives and their skills, and they'll gain a better perspective on what we do in the government to really help build those partnerships, as I keep saying, for collective defense. And nominations for that close on the 8th of July. So if you have interest, please check out our Cyber Innovation Fellowship program. And so, you know, I have been on a continuous recruitment pitch here, but really we all know why that is, because the demands have never been higher for talent. So the good news is for those who are interested in a career in cybersecurity, the future is very bright. And I frankly am very focused on those who have aptitude to be successful in a technical field. I'm not looking for people with advanced degrees. I'm really looking for people who are curious, who are problem solvers, who are puzzlers. And I'm also looking for people who have the right attitude. It's incredibly important to be a team player, to be collaborative, to be creative and innovative, and to focus on what's really important to me, that diversity and inclusion. So, but you know, if you don't end up coming to CISA, if you go into a different field, or if you go work for a critical infrastructure owner or operator, that's great too, because we can't do this alone. Cybersecurity is not something the government can solve, or industry can solve, or academia can solve, or a research community. We have to do this all together. So incredibly important that we all think about cyber as a team sport. And so, you know, the time is now, the game is here. Imagination is really the critical message I want to leave everybody with, because that's really what fuels our ability to solve our most complicated problems. And I am really, really thrilled to be here and to support this amazing group of creative and imaginative cyber puzzlers, and look forward to seeing the amazing skills showcase throughout this year's US Cyber Games. So thank you so much, team, for inviting me to help kick off the competition. Best of luck to everyone. CISA will be cheering you on. So shall we play a game? I think I will turn it back over to the team here. Thanks so much, everybody.